Hi, so today we're going to be doing some math. This is from section 5.3, and it's problem number 37. So Ann Geyer bought some land in Utah, good for her. She agrees to pay the seller a lump sum of $65,000 in 5 years. Until then, she will make monthly simple interest payments to the seller at 11% interest. Find the amount of each interest payment. So this is pretty simple. We're just going to take the $65,000 that she is trying to pay and multiply it by the interest, which is 11%. I'm going to multiply that by 1/12 because this is happening monthly. So you're going to put that into your calculator and you're going to get 595.83. So each simple interest payment is $595.83. So for part B of our problem, Ann sets up a sinking fund to save the $65,000. We were supposed to find the size of her semi-annual payments if her payments are due at the end of every 6-month period, and her money earns 8 3/8% interest. So an important phrase in this question is sinking fund. So the formula we're going to use for our sinking fund problems is FV, which stands for future value. So that's the $65,000 that she's trying to save up for, equals P. P is the payments that she's making, multiplied by 1 plus I to the n minus 1 over I again. So I already told you the future value is $65,000. That's what she's trying to save up for. Equals P, which we're solving for, multiplied by 1 plus I. Now I is the interest, but the interest is 8 3/8%, which is a fraction and annoying, so we're changing it to a decimal. Which is 0.08375 over 2, and that's because it accumulates over every 6-month period, which happens twice a year, and she only earns the 8 3/8% interest every year, so it's 0.08375 over 2. And all of that is to the nth power, which n is going to be 2 times 5, because if you remember, this is happening over 5 years. She's trying to save the $65,000, and she's making these payments twice a year. So twice a year for 5 years. Minus 1. And all of that is going over I again. So it's kind of filled out, but it's not too bad. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to calculate what's in the brackets first, and then once you've got the information in the brackets into your calculator, you're going to multiply that number by this x to the -1. So you're going to press that button, hit enter. Once you have that answer, you're going to multiply that answer by the 65,000, because this is the inverse button. So it's just a fast way to solve for that answer. And once you've done all of that, your answer will come to $5,367.01. So that is the size of each of Ann's semi-annual payments. So for part C of our problem, we're going to prepare a table showing the amount in the sinking fund after each deposit. So I've set up a table, and we know some information already. So when you're setting up a table for a sinking fund, we're going to put a section for the period, the starting balance, the interest, the deposit, and the ending balance. For this question, we know there's 10 periods because this is happening over a period of 5 years, and she's depositing twice a year. So 2 times 5, if you remember from when we calculated n earlier, is 10. So there's 10 periods. Our starting balance is 0 because she's trying to save up to the $65,000. And our last problem, we already calculated the deposit. So I went and filled that out for all of the different periods because we already did that work. We don't need to do it again. So to calculate the interest on 0, it's going to be 0 because anything multiplied by 0 is 0. Brilliant. So she's going to deposit the $5,367.01. So that means her ending balance will be that. And this table is going to be pretty simple actually. So for every single row, we're going to multiply the previous ending balance by the I that we calculated in our last problem, which, if you remember, it's up here, but I'll write it back down here. I equals 0.08375 because her account gets 8 3/8% interest, and that's that expressed in a decimal, divided by 2, because that interest accumulates over a yearly period, and this is only happening every 6 months. So for the starting balance, that's just going to be the ending balance from the previous column, because that's how much money is in there. And to calculate the interest, you just multiply that by I. So if we do that, we get $224.74. So we have that starting balance. That's the interest that's accumulated. Now we're going to add the deposit that she's adding for the second period on top of that. So basically, you're just adding these 3 numbers together, and we get $10,958.76. And you basically just repeat that process for every single row all the way down until you get to, hopefully, $65,000. So let's try that again. We're going to take that ending balance, bring that over here, because that's how much is left in her account. And to calculate the interest, we're just going to take that starting balance number, and we're going to multiply it by I again. And now the interest is $458.90. And we already know what her deposit is for this period, so now we just add these 3 numbers together, and the ending balance at the end of period 3 is going to be $16,784.67. So it's a pretty simple process. You just repeat that all the way down. I'm gonna speed this next part up because I don't want to waste your time. So as you can see, she has eventually saved $64,999.94. Hopefully she'll be able to come up with the last 6 cents, but that's just a result of us rounding over time. And this is a really cool way to see how our interest increases over time, and hopefully after this you'll be able to solve any issue or problem related to sinking funds. Thanks for listening. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.